Hey guys, it's Vinny, and I am in pajamas because one of my friends on YouTube just told me that I have a shot at auditioning for a collab channel. So yeah, this is my audition tape. The collab channel is basically going to be about LGBT stuff and funsies and things like that. So in honor of LGBT-ness, I am going to talk about things that I hate as a bisexual guy. More specifically, top 5 things I hate as a bisexual guy. And here it goes. Number 5. I hate it when people apologize to me for saying fag, or a word similar to that. I do hate that word so much. I hate it more than any other word in the world. Except Bieber. But the only thing I hate worse than that is when people say it and then apologize to me for it, as if they realize, oh, I offended him, I'm gonna apologize and make an example of him in front of everybody. Do not do that! Bad. Bad. Number 4. I hate bisexual people that date a guy and a girl at the exact same time. Just because you go both ways doesn't mean you can do it at the same time. That makes me furious! So annoying. Number 3. And this one's related to the last one. I hate it when guys ask me out even though they know I have a girlfriend, just because they assume I'm going to date a guy along with my girlfriend just because I'm bisexual. Don't work like that, honey. No. Number 2. I hate it when people assume that since because I like dick, that I'm not masculine. I'm as masculine as they come, motherfucker. I mean, seriously, I will throw a football, I'll tackle a bitch, I'll get the Muay Thai takedown. I broke a nail. Don't let my broken nail undermine what I just said. I'm tough, damn it. In relation to number 2, I hate it when people assume that since I'm bisexual, it's just a stepping stone for me to become gay. And as a result, guys don't seem to want to hang out with me much. Your loss, motherfuckers. And number 1, the thing that I hate the most about being a bisexual guy. I hate it when girls assume that I'm going to be the gay best friend. Especially when I was single and I have a crush on them and they're like, oh, let's go fucking shopping. I swear too much. It's not like, just because I like dick, I'm gonna go out shopping with you, or I'm gonna go painting nails, or getting haircuts, or manicures, or pedicures, or whatever you want to do. If you take me out getting manicures, or pedicures, or haircuts, or anything like this, I'm still gonna look more fabulous than you. Stop trying to sabotage me. I know what you're up to, bitch. On the other hand, I really do like picking out people's clothes for them. So there's that. But yeah, those are 5 things that I hate about being that was 10. That was 5 things that I hate about being a bisexual guy. But yeah, if you guys like this, please subscribe to my channel, and the people of this collab channel, if you like it, please make me a part of it. I would really like to be a part of it. So yeah, that was my audition video. And if you like this video, like it. If you dislike it, go fuck yourself. And if you really liked it, hit that subscribe button right up there. It's lonely. And I'm always waiting for new questions for my Ask Vinny show. So thank you very much for watching. Peace and love, and I shall see you next time.
For a long time, I considered bisexuality to be a cop-out. I used to think, well, I know I'm just attracted to guys sexually, so bisexuality is just for bullshitters who can't decide. Well, I now think the opposite. Now, at 21 years old, I think the opposite. Being someone that feels like a woman inside, but enjoys I'm accustomed to the enjoyment that my manhood brings me. I am a top. And so that makes me a very complex person in the relationship department. I feel like a woman inside, I feel like a woman in the relationship, but in the bedroom I'm all man. Which puts me in a very unique perspective now, because I look at things different, and I'm very offended and sensitive when people... It's hard for guys because it's like they expect me to be the bottom, and so they're like, well, you're the top in the bedroom and you're the girl in the relationship, and It's very confusing to most people, and so it's opened my eyes in such a new way, and it's really hard because it's like I'm not just boy and I'm not just girl, which is why I now think that being just gay or just straight is actually very discriminatory. And my new stance on bisexuality is that bisexuality is equality, especially for someone in my position. And it's crazy because once I realized that I have a very feminine soul, it really opened my eyes to this issue a lot more. And love is a lot like playing spin the bottle. You know, whoever it lands on, whoever your heart lands on, you can't decide. And if it lands on a girl, I'm not gonna pussy out. I'm gonna explore it. And you know, and a lot of people are scared of me because they can't place me in a box, and I just feel like love is so hard to come by. Who am I? Who in the world am I to deny it and ignore it if I can find it with a girl? I mean, love is so hard to come by. They may not be the gender that I prefer, but I'm going to explore it nonetheless if that's the person I find love in. So my newfound belief is that bisexuality is equality. The only orientation I believe is equal opportunist. And I agree that we're attracted to what we're attracted to and we have our preferences, but I'm just saying I am officially an equal opportunist. And like I said, I believe in everyone's right to be gay or straight or bi, but I just now believe that being bi is the only thing that is right for me. I think that it is equality. Shut your heart off to something so small as genitalia. And trust me, it can be small. I think that's a really awful thing to do because you can deny love and all of the right people. And anyway, my new stance on it, and I'm staying firm in this, is that bisexuality is equality. I do believe that we all have our preferences. I definitely have mine, which is men. But I'm just saying my heart is open.
Do you think that bisexuality exists? Yes, of course. Thank you. Probably exists right here in Ellensburg. Some people think I don't think bisexuals exist because I tell the truth about bisexuality, which some bisexuals have a problem with the truth about bisexuality. And the truth is this. Some people identify as bisexual who aren't bisexual. I identified as bisexual when I was 16 years old. It was a lie. For a lot of us, gays and lesbians, when we meet people who are bi, particularly people who are young and bi-identified, they tell us they're bi, and we look at them and go, yeah, so was I when I was your age. And we'll see where you're at in 5 or 10 years. The other problems and truths that upset the bisexual community when you talk about them are the fact that the overwhelming majority of bisexuals wind up in opposite-sex relationships and really kind of move away from the gay and lesbian and bisexual and transgender community by dint of that fact. They just sort of drift away. In the same way that my boyfriend and I have sort of drifted away from the gay community. We have much more in common with our straight friends who have kits than we have with our gay friends who have slings. So bisexuality exists, but it's a fact that it's a way station for many people, which will always mean that people will, when you identify as bi to someone, they're going to go. And that's not because they're persecuting you because of their bisexual identity. It's because of a fundamental truth about bisexual identity, which is that it is, for many people, a phase as a chosen identity. And then you have to get into a conversation about what is sexual identity. And it is a choice on some level. The religious right says it's a choice, and fuck those douchebags. Tony Perkins from the Family Research Council says it's a choice. I want to get him on TV so I can say, okay, choose it right now. You, me, Tony, the green room. I'll take one for the team. You suck me off and like it. You reach into your head and flip that little choice switch and dig my cock. Love my cock. I'm not like, give me a blowjob with tears running down your face. There's a lot of guys in prison giving blowjobs with tears running down your face. Like a guy can give a blowjob under duress to win an argument, I suppose. I want you to suck me off like you like it. I want your dick to be hard without touching it while you suck me off, which is the gay way. And then you can flip that switch and not be gay anymore. I got off on a tangent. Yeah, bisexuality, it exists.
it gets better. I mean, that's what Dan Savage says, right? That it gets better. And as wonderful as a campaign that is, I have a question for you, Dan. Does it get better for everybody? Does it? Is everyone included in that wonderful sentiment? Or are bisexuals kind of not allowed to participate in what you promise these boys and girls of America and the world? That it gets better. Because what I find really disingenuous, Dan, is that for the last 10, 15 years of your career, you have spent it putting down bisexuals, denying that we even exist, that we're not really bisexual, that we're gay. Why don't we really come out? And you've been saying all of these hurtful, hateful things. So you turn around and give us this "It Gets Better" campaign, and I kind of find it a bit of a crock. Because as great of a campaign it is, Dan, how do you think it's going to affect an 11 or 12 or 13-year-old boy or girl somewhere out there who is feeling alone and perhaps suicidal, and they don't know what to do, and they come across the "It Gets Better" videos, and they're given a sense of hope, which is wonderful. But then they start finding more about you, and they see your video clips or some of your writings. How do you think that's going to make them feel then? Does it get better at that point? Because they have to put up with all of the ignorance from the straight world that's keeping them down. And then seeing what you have to say about them specifically, they're going to feel, well, it's not going to get better. It's just going to stay the same. It's just going to be, instead of getting crap from my straight friends and family, I'm going to get crap from my gay and lesbian friends and family. The people who promised me it would get better. So that worries me, Dan. So I just want to say this. On behalf of all the men and women and all the boys and girls out there that have listened to what you had to say and then seen your "It Gets Better" videos, I just want to say to you, on behalf of them, fuck you.
My name is John Young, and I'm from Temple Hills, Maryland, born and raised. And so my story is about being a bisexual male and growing up in the 80s and overcoming being depressed and at times suicidal. And so it's interesting, being in this country, if you're suspected of being anything but straight and super macho, you're tormented. And I know what it's like going to school every day as a kid, especially elementary, middle school, and beginning of high school, and being the gay kid. And from the beginning of school to the end of the day, to the bus stop, being talked about, teased, picked on, bullied, going home crying many days, expressing to my mom, like, I look like everyone else, I'm not really feminine and girly, so why are people messing with me when I've done nothing to them? I was every type of gay bird, gay blade, fag, every name you can think of. I can't even remember half the names that I heard. It sucked. The people I was in elementary school with, I was in middle school with, I was in high school with. So I mean, they and the tormenting followed me. And I can remember thinking, you know what, this isn't worth it. I want to end it all. And so my idea was, if I slit my wrist, I will die quickly and be over and done with. And so looking back, I realized, wow, that would have been a slow, painful death, not quick and easy like I thought. And we had a razor in the home, and I remember going to get the razor, and I can remember standing in the living room by the couch. And I'm right-handed, so I had the razor in my right hand, had my left arm out, and you just kind of testing it out and kind of see how I felt. And I was trying to get up the courage just to go ahead and just slit and have it be over and done with. And, my mom would come home, find me, and I don't have to worry about being tormented. I have to go to school, but then in going to school, it was hell every day, all day, the playground, the bus stop. And so being in that moment, I don't know why I didn't, but I didn't slit my wrist. And I'm so thankful that I didn't, because I'm at a place now where I realize that suicide is never the answer. It's never the answer, no matter what you're going through.
Hey guys, Mike Manning here, and in the wake of recent teen suicides, I felt like I wanted to put some of my thoughts into a video. Suicide in general is terrible, but when it involves a teenager killing themselves because of bullying, it's even worse, and it needs to stop. It needs to stop. You can't bully someone because of their sexual identity. It's who they are. And you have these congressmen and these people in the government telling entire groups of people, the LGBT community, that they're second-class citizens, that they can't get married, can't serve in the military, can't donate blood. I mean, what do you expect? These kids see that, and they think that they would rather kill themselves than belong to a community, an entire group of people that are treated like second-class citizens. It can't happen. It needs to stop. Okay, so if you know someone that's going through the process of coming out, you know, just tell them, hey, it's okay. It might just be one sentence to you, but it can mean a world of difference to them. And if you see a congressman trying to oppress the LGBT community, oppress people for being lesbian, for being gay, for being bisexual, transgender, that can't happen. Because things like this happen. If you put people down enough, they start to feel that way, and that's not okay. And if you're a parent of someone going through this, just love them all the same, because your kid's the same person before and after they come out to you. And if you're a teenager struggling with coming out, just know that there are organizations out there to help you and people out there to help you. There are 6.7 something billion people on this planet. If somebody gives you shit for being gay or being bi or whatever, find someone else that's going to love you for who you are, because they're out there. Alright, suicide is not the option. It should not be an option at all. Okay, so I'm here to tell you that I got your back. There are organizations out there that have your back, and that it gets better. Thanks for listening.
got him real good. I hope it feels good. Hey, you trying so hard not to cry. Well, I know you're fed up, but keep your head up, 'cause people only see what they wanna. People can't believe what they gonna. They don't understand the life that you choose. They never walked a mile in your shoes. No, no, no. So what you gonna do with the haters? Just gotta excuse their behavior, but just don't give up hope. I just want you to know, maybe today seems cloudy and gray, so full of sorrow, and tomorrow seems so far away. But it gets better, it gets better, but it gets better, it gets better. I know the world keeps throwing you strife, but keep on shutting down this yellow brick road called life. 'Cause it gets better, it gets better, 'cause it gets better, it gets better. Hey, you, wondering who you are, saying there's something wrong here, I don't belong here. Hey, you, don't you know you come so far and there's nowhere to run to? I'll always love you, but people only see what they wanna. People can't believe what they're gonna. They don't understand the way that you feel. They never walked a mile in your heels. No, 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 no. So what you gonna do with your haters? Just gotta excuse their behavior, but just don't give up yet. Don't ever forget, yeah, yeah, yeah. Maybe today
tell you, it gets better.
You can overcome any pain with your own permission.
You can really have any kind of life that you choose.
Know that you have friends, you are loved, and that you are not alone.
It's gotta stop. No one deserves to be bullied for any reason.
Stand tall, be proud of who you are.
We're all the same. And trust me when I tell you, it will get better.
It gets better.
But you need to understand that there is hope. There's always hope, and there is always help.
It gets better, and make sure you know that.
I want you to know that it does get better.
It gets better.
I promise, it gets so much better.
It gets better.
It gets better.
Don't give up. It will get better.
It
gets
better.
Things will get easier, people's minds will change, and you should be alive to see it.
Maybe the day seems cloudy and gray, so full of sorrow, and tomorrow seems so far away. But it gets better. It gets better. But it gets better. It gets better. And I know the world keeps throwing you strife, but keep on strutting down this yellow brick road called life. 'Cause it gets better. It gets better. 'Cause it gets better. It gets better. 'Cause it gets better. It gets better.
Hi, I'm Gloria Stefan, and you know, when you're young, you think that every day lasts a lifetime, that every year will never end, especially when you're going through tough times. And I went through some tough times. I had to take care of a very sick dad. I felt the weight of the world on my shoulders. I wanted to be strong for my mom, but deep inside I was crumbling. And there were many a time that I thought that the easiest way would be just to check out. But you know what? Thankfully, my little sister, my family, they made me hang in there. And I realized after time went by that things do change. In fact, I put it in one of my songs, in Always Tomorrow, the only one sure thing is change. So no matter what you may be going through at this time, young people, you think that things are always going to be like that. It's not that way at all. You're going to grow, you're going to evolve, you're going to be stronger. And that's what difficulties in life should do. They should make you stronger and, you know, beef you up for the things to come and make you able to grow beyond whatever circumstances you may be going through, because thoughts can create reality. And when you make your thoughts strong and positive, you can create the life that you want for yourself. And don't let anybody else tell you who you are, or what you should be doing or what you shouldn't be doing. You are you. Each one of us is a gift on this earth. We all come with a mission and something to do, and you can't give that mission up just because somebody might think that you're not what they want you to be. Believe in yourself, and it will get better. I promise you.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Reibel.
I'm Kristen Howe.
And I'm Faye Wolf.
On our show, Rose by Any Other Name, we have a lot of fun with my character.
Is she bisexual?
Is she a lesbian?
But it's just a show. We know how hard it can be growing up bisexual.
Not fitting in?
Anywhere.
Not seeing anyone like you on TV or...
Or anywhere.
But you're not alone.
We want you to know that it gets better.
It does.
And no matter where you live or how desperate you may feel, there will come a day, and it's probably sooner than you think, where it will start to get better.
We promise. We have felt the isolation and the loneliness, and we have all felt that we simply don't fit in anywhere.
And whether it's right outside your door, right down the street, or at the simple click of a computer, you're not alone. There's people out there waiting for you. There's people out there waiting to be your best friend, your companion, your partner.
Waiting for you to become the strong, secure, happy person that you were born to be.
So hang in there. The three of us represent millions of bisexual men and women who are out there rooting for you. We love you and believe in you. You are not alone.
And while you're at it, try laughing a little bit. It's amazing how good it can feel.
Hi, my name is Tammy Peterson. I'm the bi rep for the National Union of Students LGBT campaign, and I'm making this video today to tell you that it does get better. I came out as bi at the age of 19. I grew up in Salt Lake City, Utah, a very conservative area, and grew up Mormon as well. There were many things and many pressures that I had as a young person to conform to the religion that I was brought up in, including the idea that I was meant to get married to a man, have children, and basically spend my life in the home. At a very young age, I knew that this wasn't what I was cut out for me and wasn't what I was really interested in. I was much more interested in playing with cars, baseball cards. I was into a lot of things that were technically boys' things. And it became pretty clear to me from a young age that I was definitely different than a lot of people. I think my parents chalked it up to eccentricity. Later in life, I realized it was because all along I was rather queer. At the age of 19, I came out as bisexual when I was living in Chicago, and only recently have I begun to have relationships with women and experienced this sort of the change in the way people relate to you, who were previously had always assumed you were straight, even though you were quite clear you were bi. And now that I'm seeing women, people saying you're a lesbian, really, and all these other kinds of things. So the difficult pressures on people as bisexual people I've definitely experienced. Also, I've come out recently as polyamorous, which has its own difficulties in issues of acceptance and people understanding where you're coming from, and in people not thinking just kind of stereotypes about what polyamorous people are. In any case, the point is, through all of this, and particularly the last couple of years, it's been tremendously difficult. I can't really say that I empathize enough, that I can empathize enough with young people who, in particular, who are out and queer at the age of 16, 17, 18. I mean, it's phenomenal. And for any of you that are thinking, look, this just isn't enough, I'm just too weird, I'm not going to be loved, no one understands me, it's just not true. There's a lot of people out there, and a lot of people I've met in the NUS LGBT campaign who are wonderful, amazing people who understand exactly who you are, who know what you're going through. So if anything, get involved in the campaign, and that will be a big boost to you, or get involved in groups on your campuses. If you don't have groups on your campuses, I understand it can be quite isolating, but the reality is, it does get better. It doesn't feel like it gets better all the time, and I've definitely had my ups and downs. It's been very difficult the last couple of years as I've gone through a divorce and began seeing women for the first time. It's been one of the hardest challenges of my life, but I'm really happy that I've always remained who I am fundamentally, and always been on that path to understand who I am. You are out there, understanding who you are, grasping who you are at your age. A lot of people don't even do that in their entire life. You are a tremendous person just for the fact that you're grappling with who you are and what you're about at your age. At any age, really. Because as I said, most people don't even do that in their entire lifetimes. And don't ever believe the lie that it is the people that conform and the people that go along and the so-called normal people that change this world, because it's not true. It's not true. Look at history. It's the eccentrics, it's the weirdos, it's the queers. These people change the world. Don't ever think that that is not your true lineage, that that's not where you come from, because it absolutely is. And don't ever think that you're not worthy of living, because too many eccentrics and queers and people and beautiful, wonderful people have taken their own lives, thinking they weren't worth it. And it wasn't true. So just hang in there. Hang in there one more day. Hang in there one more night. Just go to bed if you have to. Do whatever it takes. Just get through that night. That lonely, dark night. Just get through it. And you will find that it does get better. You will love people. You will meet amazing people. You will travel all over the world. You will do whatever you want to do. Because you are wonderful. And you are amazing. You are unique. To thine own self be true. Never forget that. It gets better. It really does. You take care. You are loved. You are beautiful.
you know, that was difficult and kind of, you know, lonely because there weren't, you know, I don't have any other bisexual friends, so not having anyone that understands to be able to like talk to or ask advice.
You know, when I was younger, I always felt that I was different. I never quite could put my finger on it. I grew up in a very conservative area, so it wasn't until I came to college that I even heard the term bisexual.
I ended up settling into the straight role, but always having to hide, you know, another side.
For a while, I kind of figured if I didn't act on it, then it was okay.
But you had to pick a team. You know, it's either gay or straight.
I went on a drug and alcohol binge for about 10 years, so I had to explore, I had to run for myself for a while.
I myself am a survivor of several suicide attempts where I tried to kill myself because no one understood who I was. No one understood who I was trying to be or who I could become.
I was raised in the Deep South. Both my parents were very heavily involved with the church, so there was a bit of fear about that.
I just started saying, well, I'm a lesbian, knowing all the while that I was still attracted to men.
Because society said that I couldn't love a woman after I came out as gay.
It takes courage to grow up to be the person you're meant to be. It does get better.
It gets 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 better.
When I first sort of met people who identified as bisexual, it was definitely more of, yeah, there's something in there for me.
Like, it's a phase. Bisexuality is a phase. It's not a phase. This is the way I am.
There's people who live their whole lives as bisexuals, there's people who are bi, pansexual, or fluid, and very happy like that.
I myself have struggled with the term bisexuality for a long time, but have come to a personal understanding of what it means to me.
I think I've just accepted it because I am okay with it, and I think a lot of it was because other people weren't okay with it. That was causing a lot of my, like, you know, discomfort or loneliness, because they don't get it or think you have to choose.
In the midst of the election and the whole Prop 8 thing, that's really when I helped, when I found a community, and that helped immensely.
You know in your heart what you're about.
As much as we all carry the label bisexual, each one of us is a little bit different than the other one, and that's what makes life so interesting.
I'm Alan Cumming, and I grew up near Carnoustie in Scotland, the northeast of Scotland, but I grew up on a country estate where my dad was the head forester, so I grew up in the middle of nowhere, actually. So I'm Alan Cumming, and I'm from the middle of nowhere. I don't know why, actually. I don't really understand this, but I never really felt any shame about my sexuality, about, you know, the idea that I found boys attractive as well as girls when I was, you know, becoming, having sexual thoughts. I remember kind of thinking about Elton John, when he was like, you know, like in the 70s when he was all skinny and cokehead, and before he went kind of more with the big glasses. I remember thinking, cool, I think he's hot, and I wouldn't have used that word in those days, but and I remember wondering if Elton John was gay, and I probably wouldn't have used that word either. I don't know what I would have thought it was, but, you know, would find me attractive. And it's so hilarious now, like 30 years later. I run into Elton John at things. I've never told him. You know, there's a certain time when you're famous that people obviously are interested in you in your work, and then it kind of transcends into they're really interested in you as a person and your personal life as much, if not more, than your work. And so it wasn't until I kind of came to America and started doing lots of big, you know, when you're a new person, you kind of are like fresh meat for the media, and you get all these in-depth probes. And it became a big deal about my sexuality, and I'd never really talked about it in that way in public before. It just was it never was a thing. Anyway, so eventually I came to America and I did this. I came out on the cover of Out magazine. So it was pretty splashy. But that was why I did this, was because there was so much sort of speculation about my sexuality in the media here, which I found hilarious and also very American, you know, kind of quite prurient and weird. And so I decided I would talk about it finally, but in a forum that I thought it could be discussed properly and non-sensationally, and also deal with the whole kind of sexuality as a grey area, not necessarily so black and white, and you know what I mean? And my particular path being not quite so, I mean, I didn't just always think I was gay and that was it. So that's why I did this. So my coming out is this. And I went naked on the thing because I thought that would be, I was baring my soul. He says baring, but nobody got that. Nobody sort of, I remember going on talk shows and they would have it up and go, what, you know. And they thought this was my testicle. Conan O'Brien was fascinated by that. So my coming out is this, in an official, famous way. But it was, you know, I dribbled into it in my real life.
Hi, my name is Elisa, and I'm a 27-year-old bisexual female from Seattle, Washington. I'm here to tell you that it gets better. I guess I'll just kind of start off with my story, and that is that when I was in school, I was very, very heavily bullied. I actually ended up changing schools a lot, sometimes for the fact that I was just bullied and I needed to get out of there. I would beg my mother to move me to another school or to move me away from the people that used to be my friends. When I was in high school, most of the bullying stemmed from the bisexuality, simply because when I was in high school it was very trendy for girls to pretend to be bisexual so that they could get attention from their boyfriends and the boys. So when their boyfriends and the boys were around, you know, they would definitely flirt and lead me on and things like that, but then when I got them in a one-on-one situation, they treat me like dirt. And that was really, really difficult, and it's difficult to go through. And I'm here to tell you that it was really hard to even think that I'd ever make it to 27, but I did. And I'm here, and I have a career and a family and friends, and in this wonderful support group of people that I've put together, that you are going to put together your own support group, I promise. You're going to. It's one of those things that it just kind of happens. You're going to find people who are like you. It just gets better. Just remember that. My one little bit of advice to you is don't let them get the better of you. It's really easy to hear all these terrible things that people say to you and to kind of put them on yourself, to look in the mirror and go, oh, God, maybe they're right. Maybe I am a slut. Maybe I am, you know, wrong for this. You know, maybe whatever. And I want you to know that is the one thing that's going to lead to you're feeling more, it's going to lead to them winning, is what it is. And truthfully, none of us want them to win. We love you and we care about you. So I want you, and I know this probably isn't going to mean a whole lot coming from some chick in Seattle who you've never met with pink hair and tattoos, but I want you to listen to me. I want you to listen to the pink-haired chick. Go look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself you're beautiful. And that it does not matter what other people think about you. It does not matter what they say. You are a beautiful person. And you're the only one who needs to know that. I want you to know that. And I want you to know that there are tons of us out here, 104 pages of videos worth of people who are out here who care about you and want you to know that you are loved and that your life is just as important as everybody else's. So, good luck. Know that it gets better. Know that life is a beautiful thing and you have every right to live it. And congratulations for logging on. And I wish you the best, and I love you.
Hi everybody, I'm Justine from Austin, Texas, and I'm here to tell you that it does get better. I'm 19, and in my younger years, when I came out as a bisexual, I was not necessarily bullied about my orientation, but I was criticized about it. A lot of people would tell me, a lot of girls would tell me that I said I was bisexual just for the attention from guys, or that, I'm going to take off my glasses here because I can see the glare, or that I was just confused and I couldn't make up my mind, or a bunch of terrible things, mostly that I wanted attention from boys. But the thing is that when I came out to my best friend who was a girl, and somehow the word spread. I mean, she wasn't the only one I told, but I never told really any guys for attention. It's who I am. It's what God made me, despite what some Catholics and Christians may believe. And I am a true believer in God, and He loves all His children. And so, don't go losing faith, thinking that God hates you or that He's going to send you to hell, because God loves you. He wouldn't make you the way you are if He didn't. And don't listen to what other people say, because they have no idea who you are, and they have no right to judge who you are. I was one of the lucky ones to have my parents accept me for who I am, for what my sexual orientation was. I was lucky enough to not be judged by my own parents, and I know most people aren't. So just stay strong, because it does get better. It does.
Hi, I'm Retina Wesley. We all know that bullies suck, and high school sucks, but it eventually gets better. Remember, you're perfect, just the way you are. And believe in yourself, because I believe in you. And know that you're worth it. If you are feeling alone, confused, or in crisis, please call the Trevor Project at 1-866-4U-TREVOR for immediate help, or log on to thetrevorproject.org. If you want to find out ways to help create safe spaces in your school, log on to glscn.org or glisten.org. And remember, it gets better.
My name is Cynthia. I grew up in Rhode Island, and I lived at a school for boys. My mom was a school nurse, my dad was the minister at the school, and we lived on campus. But I got to be about 16, and honestly, this is what my parents tell me, that they could see trouble coming. So they moved us to Wisconsin. My parents and I had a lot of conflict. We had real different ideas about what acceptable behavior was. I always felt like a bit of an outsider, and I think a lot of GLBT kids feel this way. There's just something that's different. I didn't come out until I was in my early 20s. And I was dating a man that was quite a bit older than me. He said, "Have you thought about women?" I thought to myself, I never really knew that was an option. My mother, the first thing she said was, "Well, is this a phase? Do you think it's a phase?" And she said, "I don't think we should tell your father." And he came to see me at work. He said, "Unless you move out from these people, we will no longer pay your rent," which they were doing when I was in college, "and we won't give you any more money for college." It wasn't even a dark moment because for me it became an empowering moment. I said, "I'm sorry, but I'm not going to conform with your expectations, and I will pay my own rent and get myself through school," which I did. It took almost 20 years for my parents to come to terms with my sexuality. You end up making your own family, and that's your family of choice versus your family of origin. Bisexual people suffer a little bit of discrimination by both the community at large and by the GL community as well, because I think we're somewhat misunderstood. People say, "You're confused, you can't make a choice, you want to have your cake and eat it too." That can be really frustrating. It's hard for me to really imagine that people who were already marginalized would then marginalize other people. I've never really understood that. I'm attracted to men and I'm attracted to women. Even when it's difficult, I put myself out as a bisexual person. I speak it and I name it for that reason. I want them to say, "I know somebody that's bisexual." You know, and she's genuinely bisexual. She's not just confused. My biggest supporter, I think, is my sister-in-law. You know, when it comes down to who you are and what you feel, she is so behind you. And she has really been there for me at some of the worst points. My husband is wonderful. Being married is something I didn't think would ever happen to me. But when he transitioned from female to male, we suddenly saw that it was something that we legally could do. We both work very hard to try to push forward the idea that everyone should be able to marry. The B and the T at the end of the GLBT needs to come together to be part of that whole. We need to be part of the color that is the GLBT community. It does get better. Be aware of who you are. Be proud of who you are. Embrace the people around you. There are others out there that want to help you. And know that day by day, things are definitely going to get better.
Hey, what's up? This is Ryan Rotman, and I am straight, but I am not narrow. Definitely not narrow. We're a bunch of guys talking to guys about guys who like guys. There's a million reasons why you shouldn't be friends with someone. They think that they have the best Christopher Walken impersonation ever. They go into a barbershop and ask for the Nicolas Cage. They think the Glee music is all original music. They hit on your mother every day. Every Friday, they sing Rebecca Black. They say that's what she said all the time, and it doesn't even make sense. That's what she said! Shut up! It's not okay. It's not okay. There's a million reasons why you shouldn't be friends with someone, except for them being gay. You may be straight, you may be gay, you can be everything in between. Just don't be narrow-minded. They think their Christopher Walken impersonation is better than mine, and it's not. I'm quite good, you know?
That was awesome.
Yes, that was
disgustingly awesome.
That was awesome. There was nothing good about what you said.
We're gonna put a little thing at the bottom that says, "Do not be friends with this guy."
So my name is Amber, and I was born in Okinawa, Japan, but I am from Atlanta, Georgia. So my experience is that people of color, when I hear their coming out stories, there's always some element of tragedy or or real struggle or estrangement from their families. And while that's certainly been the case for a lot of people, it wasn't my experience. And I think it's important to also get that story out, that it's not always going to be this really terrible experience. You're not going to feel completely alone and estranged from your family, because with people of color, really with anybody, but with people of color specifically, our family unit is incredibly important, and you go through a lot with your family, and so feeling estranged from them at any point is particularly debilitating, and so that just wasn't my experience, and I thought it was important to get that out. It was Super Bowl Sunday, 2004, and I was headed to a Super Bowl party, and I was talking with my mom on the phone. I was trying to get off the phone with her, and right when I was trying to get off the phone, she asked if I had anything I wanted to talk to her about, or anything more I wanted to say, and I said, no, I think I covered it. Everything's going well, you know, classes are going great, you know, trying to get off the phone. And she said, well, you sure you don't have anything you need to say? No, I'm all set. I think we covered everything. She goes, well, what about Allison? And Allison is this girl that I dated. And so she was asking if I wanted to say anything about Allison. And I said, no, I don't have anything to tell you about Allison. And she waited a little longer, and she's like, okay, well, I guess I'm gonna have to walk you through this. Right? And so, so I was silent. I had no idea what she was, I mean, I think I had an idea what she was referring to, but it was just so out of the realm of my understanding of how this process works that I just wasn't ready. And so she said, okay, Mom, I am, and I was silent because I had no idea what I was supposed to say. And she said it again, Mom, I am, and I just started crying. I never finished the sentence. I never went through it. I just broke down and started crying. And I said over and over again, I'm so sorry. I'm just so sorry. I tried for so long to be perfect. I don't mean to disappoint you. And I was just brokenhearted. And I felt like I had broken her heart. And she just kept saying it was okay. She's like, it's okay. I love you. It's okay. It's okay. And we eventually got off the phone. I don't remember how I got off the phone, but we got off the phone. And about the summer of that year, I ended up going back home and landed by myself this time. And we were cleaning up the garage. And I remember having like a series of conversations that summer about what it meant to be bisexual, because that's what I came out as, because I was bisexual. I was still attracted to men. I just wasn't dating one at the time. And the questions that she asked centered around, I mean, the very first question she asked me was like, okay. So you're walking down the street, and Denzel Washington is coming at you from this end, and Halle Berry's coming at you from, who do you look at? I mean, looking at it, they were ridiculous questions, but they weren't questions asked out of malice. Like, she really was truly trying to understand. And they were difficult questions to answer, because I would look at Halle Berry, but that's just because Halle Berry is just generally more attractive than Denzel Washington, but maybe that's how gay I am. But it was also more that, like, Denzel Washington's a little older than, you know, so it got to be a bit of a headache, but it was nice that she stayed engaged, and she was always asking kind of silly questions like that. My mother passed suddenly in 2008, and tragically. And when I was dealing with my grief with her passing, I remember Googling her and just looking up some of the obituaries and things people had to say. And I stumbled across an article that one of her students, one of her former students at Virginia Tech, had written. And people say incredible things about my mom, talk about her eloquence and her beauty and her grace and her way of, like, just making everyone feel like comfortable and at home. And all of those things mean a lot to me. But this student wrote this article, and he said that what meant the most to him is that she was the greatest LGBT ally Virginia Tech students had. And, like, oh God, I don't want to get choked up, but out of all the things that I've ever heard about my mother, that absolutely meant the most to me. And I just feel so blessed to have had that in my life. And I just wish that other people would be so lucky. So that's it.
Hey guys. So we are talking about bisexuality this week on A Gay Day, and I guess this might be like a commonly held opinion, but like in terms of like acceptance from the two extreme communities, I feel like being bisexual really sucks, at least in that regard. With the gay community, you have people who view bi people as either, you know, they're gay and they're just afraid to come out all the way, or they think that they don't exist, like that being bi doesn't exist, or I mean they're just too straight for them, like they don't really fit in that regard. And then on the other side, there's the same issues with, you know, they're just gay, you know, being bi doesn't exist and they're not straight enough. So like, I feel like you're just stuck in the middle and that really sucks. I've talked about this before, but we have very concrete definitions of what everything is, but I think that, you know, in terms of the spectrum, most of us are bisexual to a certain extent. I sound like kind of a hippie here, but like societal norms kind of push us to an extreme, but like in reality, we're probably somewhere in the middle. We're all probably somewhere in the middle. I think it's important to, in LGBT, remember that there's more than the G, which is something that we kind of focus on here, but there's other members of that community, and I've learned that being here because I've interacted with a lot of people that are outside of just gay, and that's really interesting because you get a totally different perspective and you get to realize what their issues are. We realize that we need to kind of come together to work on our stuff, even though we have some differences in what we're looking for and what we have to do. I think we have to support each other's stuff, and I think having, you know, divides where we don't believe that a bi person is just, you know, afraid to come out. I think it's important that we respect everybody and what they do. If you're kind of looking for more of my views on this kind of stuff, I made a video of it on my channel probably a couple of years ago now, but I don't really just want to rehash everything I said there, so if you want to look at that, I will link that in the description. I think that's going to be it. Don't do drugs, make a choice to stay in school. I'll see you guys next time.
Hi, this is Margaret Cho. I want to talk to all the gay teens out there who feel alone, who feel bullied, who feel like taking their own life might be an answer. Well, it's not. It's not. I want to tell you that you're not alone, and I was bullied so much when I was a kid and so much as a teenager, and there were many, many times that I wanted to take my own life. But don't do it. We need you. The world cannot go on without you. Stay with us. We love you so much.